society might be more of a spiritual war than we might even understand. And what I mean by that is essentially what we're constantly bombarded with in society today is stress. Stress from work, stress from relationships, stress from external factors, environmental factors, the news, the media. You're bombarded in all these corners from stress. Well, stress induces physiological changes inside the body. It actually makes your body react in certain ways. It makes genes express themselves in certain ways. So, by inducing stress onto you and into the population of the world, what's essentially happening is changes are being made to the population to make them act in a certain way. One must ask the question why we are made to act in a certain way. Okay, and what those actions are, those tendencies and attributes are of stress. So when we think of that, one, increased aggravation. There's a perceived threat in the environment that you are responding to in a flight or fight mechanism, right? So you're either choosing to ignore the problem or attack the problem, because you're perceiving this external reaction as a threat to you. So you're gonna do either one. Either one, what you do is fine because the result is exactly the same. Whether you ignore the problem or fight the problem or the stimulus in your environment, you're essentially responding from a place of anger and of fear. When there's anger and fear inside of an individual, the individual cannot find love because fear is the opposite of love. Anger is the opposite of love, right? Love, just like stress, induces an opposite type of effect in the person, right? So with the absence of stress, the individual finds it easier and easier to notice love within them and within other people. It helps them find empathy. It helps them find courage. It helps them find balance in their life. What stress and fear does is it makes you hoard. It makes you want to. It turns you selfish and separated from your population, right? Because when you're scared, you're looking out for number one, you're fighting or flighting. You're trying to preserve the self, the ego. Stress helps you find the ego, and that's not a good thing in terms of, harmony within society, right? By getting stressed, you're essentially fighting a stimulus in your environment, which makes you fear and or be angry and attack something. Attacking something makes you distinguish the difference between you and them. You are protecting yourself. You are fighting the enemy. There is duality. Stress induces duality at the very base core. Love makes someone find empathy within themselves. You're able to understand how your actions make other people feel. You can even perceive other people's feelings. By perceiving other people's feelings, you can identify with them more. And by understanding what they're feeling and what they're going through and having compassion for that, there's no more duality. There's no more separateness. There's no more separateness. You are all one now because you feel them and they feel you, actually feel you, and you actually feel them. But then one might ask, okay, we know these truths. We're bombarded with stress. And from all corners of our lives. And we know what stress does to the body and how it makes people act and how it makes them treat other people. The last question you must ask yourself is, why is that stress being induced? We know what it does, and we know that a lot of it's coming towards us, but why? And the real question is, if we know the effects, And we know the stress is being put there, perhaps on purpose. It must mean that whoever's inducing the stress upon the population wants it to act in a dualistic way, in a separate way, in a you and me, them, you and me way, us and them way, a Democrat Republican way, a Catholic, a Jewish way, a black, a white way. If the only thing that's up for debate in this whole discussion is if you believe the stress is being induced on purpose or if you think it's just by chance. And those are the only two schools of thought in this discussion. I tend to think that the amount of stress that's induced onto us is so great, the possibilities of it being by random is minuscule. It's not just like, oh, you get stressed out by walking by a part of town that you don't feel comfortable in, and that's it. No, there's 1,000 things in your life every day that stresses you the hell out. Like if it's not the bill, it's your doctor appointment from 12 months ago you forgot about and they billed you late for, and then your car keys get stuck in your car, and then your gym doesn't freaking erase your credit card when you told them to cancel it like 3 months ago and they charged you for it. And then, I don't know, just a million stupid things. There's no way all that happens by chance. There is no way. Yeah, okay, I can understand once in a while being affected by one stressful thing, but not a life of stressful things. There's a big difference. You know, but if you don't believe in that, and that's totally fine, and you think that stress just happens by chance, then all of this is kind of too much. It's kind of too much. It's just not that complicated if you think it's by chance. But if you do think it's by chance, then it gets deep. Because the fourth question that you ask yourself is, why is the stress being induced? Who's inducing the stress? And that I don't know. Maybe no one's inducing the stress. But then that gets down to the level of, what is this reality even? What is it? What is this existence? Where are we? Because if someone's inducing the stress, you're looking for another enemy, and then you're back in the cycle. You're looking just for another enemy, another dualistic entity that you can again fight or flight from. So in that situation, you don't get to the answer by thinking someone's inducing the stress. The only way you could end the cycle of all of this is to understand that there's no one inducing the stress, but it is intentional. It is intentional. So that would mean that our reality, that we're constantly being bombarded with stress by, that's reducing our ability to feel empathetic towards one another and be unified, is not being induced, but is being induced, is not being induced by a person or entity, but is being induced by on purpose, which means that this whole reality that we occupy right now is here, like a sandbox in a game. Not that this is a video game, but to draw a parallel for what this plane is. It's here to test you. We're all just being tested. We're all just being tested here. If you have 50 million stressful things happen in your day, just know that that was on purpose. And if you know that this is just happening to you on purpose, And that is the purpose of this actual reality. It's easier and easier to not get stressed by all this stuff. Because it's going to happen to you anyway. It happens to you every single day. So obviously, we're supposed to mature and try to not get fazed by all of this. Because by not getting fazed by all these things that make you fight or flight and get aggressive towards other people and makes it easier for you to attack them, which makes them attack other people, and it's just this vicious cycle. The only way to stop that is to not get stressed by the stressful things that occur. Because by not getting stressed, your body reacts in the way that allows you to find unity and love and happiness and treat others that way. And then that's not a vicious cycle, but a great cycle for humanity. And in this way, humanity chooses its fate. The stress is being induced on us to make us understand the right way. The loving way, the kind way, the only way that we can live together. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe.